infatti non volevo fare niente.
Anche quelli, si può dire, gli speaker sono tutti già accesi, sono noi lì. Hai toccato?
Non ho toccato niente.
Okay.
Ah, ora funziona.
È perché stavamo preparando. E allora, se no, mi sento.
Sono tutti quanti a far colazione.
Speaker lì.
Ok.
Perché mi ha detto che anche all'inizio gestisci.
C'è un pointer.
Ora è bloccato?
No, funziona il pointer.
Ah, il
Funziona il
pointer.
pointer.
Sì. Ho messo un altro microfono lì.
Fantastico.
Ti faccio segno e iniziamo.
Ok. No music. No, this morning no. Well, I should have an intro music, no? No. Hello? Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. We should be many more, but I guess people are hanging out for breakfast still. They will come surely in the next meeting minutes, but it's already 9:10. We should start our proceeding. So welcome to this Info Day. It's great to see you. It's quite an important moment for us. Of course, it's, as you know, 20 years of the European Charter for Researchers, and it's a major milestone for us and for the HR Excellence in Research community. So I would like to introduce the day with some. May I go ahead with? Okay, with some information about the day, very simply. But of course, this is me. you know me. Okay, some house rules. First of all, silence your mobile devices. Silent, keep your mobiles on, but on silent, please. Badge on at all times for security reasons. If you post on social media, use the hashtags Choose Europe, EU Research Area to share. It will be very much appreciated. In case you're looking for the Wi-Fi, there's an open network for you. It was already communicated yesterday, but in case you were not here yesterday, hotel Wi-Fi is the one you want to choose. You can also, in this room only, choose the hotel ballroom. Now, 2 words on the agenda. It's a pretty long agenda, and it's pretty atypical also. We decided to reduce at the bare minimum the classical Info Day presentations. That will be this afternoon. We are going to have 2 presentations which are highly demanded. The one on how to prepare for the initial and intermediate phase, and how to prepare for the renewal, especially for the site visits. But that will be the afternoon. The 2/3 of the day are dedicated to something more, less typical than that, because we wanted to put the stress to accent the role of somebody who is not part of the usual suspects, meaning institutions, awarded institutions, who are part of the larger community of the HR excellence in research, internationally, geographically, sectorally, and also from the point of view of the disciplines that are tackled. We are going to have in order, I changed my glasses and now I cannot see the lectern. We are going to have, let's take mine, it's better here. We're going to have, first of all, an introduction from me that will be slightly longer than the normal presentation. It will take me about 20 to 25 minutes. Many of you have already seen the first part, and it will be the last time I present it, because I will start from the Charter and Code. But again, this is an important moment, a celebration for us, so I will start from there to get to the European Charter. Many things were already said yesterday, but I want to repeat that in this context. The second part of the presentation is about novelties in the HRX sensing research process. Of course, description of the process, but also information on something new that is going on. Then we're going to have REPSOL, an international fuel company. We're going to have the International Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology from Australia. We're going to have the presentation from University of Siegen, which will present an interdisciplinary approach on the implementation of the European Charter for Researchers. And we are going to have the point of view, the shared or the practice of CERN. In the afternoon, the first presentation of the afternoon, it will be about hardcore IT process. We are going to have the hero of the HRX sensing research e-tool, who is going to present us the huge work that has been done to renew, implement, revamp the e-tool that we are all using for the HR award process. Right, this is the agenda. And these are the presenters, all of us. I will introduce them when they come on stage, but already you can familiarize with some of them. And right before my presentation, a few introductory Slido questions for you. If you can take the Slido, and if I do understand, I don't go ahead. Yes, you do it for me. So which country are you connecting from? Let's see our audience where they're connecting. I hope that it will be on. It's a word cloud. Spain, France, Spain is in the center. Oh, Germany now is Czechia. Okay, slowly. I guess it's a bit early also for the people online. Spain, France is coming in prominently. Okay, remember, we have 39 countries in the loop, so I'm not counting here, but I guess more will come in. Okay. Finland, Norway, Bulgaria, Hungary, Portugal, Denmark. Okay. More coming in. Okay, let's move to the second question. Okay, more that were coming in. Now, interesting. Are you already involved in the HRX sensing research process? Do we have somebody that is an absolute newcomer? Okay, yes, 100%. Let's give about 15 seconds. Oh, we have 2% of... it's growing. Right. Oh, it is growing. That is really good. Oh, 6. Wait 3 seconds more. Okay, we can move to the next. That's great. We have some absolute newcomers, so it will be very informative for even. Oh, we are getting there. We can move to the other slide of questions. All right. In what role now? What is the composition of our audience? Now, with the slide, I cannot separate audience in the room or online. We have assessors, we have research managers. We knew that from yesterday. We have a lot of research managers and a lot of HR award admin. Now, many of us, we have several hats. So I guess you will be falling in different categories. But yes, we have a majority of HR award admin and other. Who is a... and other here. Do we have others in the room? Or yes? And you're here as? Researcher. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Which is our ultimate focus and raison d'être. So thank you for being here. Do we have a last slide, though? A fourth one? Yes. Now, a process. I know it seems complicated. How do you position yourself? Yes. Okay, I'm happy to see that nobody is in the never heard of it in the category. That is great. It simplifies my life here. Okay, very good. Happy to see that we have 1/5 of total beginners, because this will give you a flavor of what the HR process is. Okay, all right, thanks. Can move on. Okay, this is still the Slido. All right, thank you. Okay, all right, first presentation of the day. Close it. I will move a bit faster in the first part of the presentation, of course, but is HR excellence in research the state of play? Let me celebrate this document. 2005, Commission recommendation on the Charter and Code. The document, we heard about it from the MLE presentation, from the policy presentation, from the last, I thought it was great, last panel of the day on the European Charter for Researchers, 20 years of the European Charter for Researchers. Very fast. The document, as you all know, for those 20% of people not involved and those 5% of non-aware, total newcomers, it was a document that was born as an instrument to strengthen the ERA based on two target category, researchers, of course, but also their recruiters and funders. Why? Because the ERA, to develop the context in which researchers and research is performed in Europe, needs also to tackle, transform, improve, modify the context in which this research is done and the researchers are involved. So recruiters and funders. And it was organized in two documents that were directed to contribution on the development of ERA, to foster national and international mobility, promote Europe as an attractive destination, and stimulate open, transparent, merit-based recruitment system, the famous OTMR. This document was based on 4 pillars, for 40 principles, again, was mentioned yesterday. I am not dwelling on to that, but it will become very important to stress the transition to the new European Charter for Researchers. Now, a lot have happened since 2005. The HR, at the time, HRS4R came into being. What is the HRS4R? Is the implementation mechanism, because it's not sufficient to declare in principle the endorsement of this beautiful document. It is necessary to put it into practice, to give it legs and arms, to go somewhere and to do something. And then in 2018, digitalization, the e-tool that we'll talk about later. But in 2021, it's already 4 years ago, full 4 years ago, we started working on the improvement, the modernization, of the document. Therefore, we commission started working on the framework for researchers, on the revision of the Charter and Code, and on building the talent platform. That was 2022 to 2023, and for my colleagues, This seems ages ago. Now we are in a completely different environment. Why this in 2021, 2022, 2023? We were thinking it was necessary. This slide, we saw it yesterday. Number of researchers. The situation is completely different. 2 million research, over 2 million researchers. They need to there is stronger instruments, stronger documentation, stronger attention, stronger focus. And in addition, the new challenges coming up. We were coming out of COVID. We were coming up in a situation where new tensions were building up, and the role of researchers became even more central. And one thing that was repeated over and over already yesterday, the skills issue. There were mismatches between the academic sector and the sector beyond academia. And sector beyond academia, I'm not speaking just of industry, small and medium enterprises. I'm speaking of the public sector. I'm speaking of the world of the associations. I'm speaking of the world of all the other initiatives employing researchers. And also, skills, again, central. Anticipate and provide the right skills. We already discussed how important it is to consider in research careers the development outside, beyond, I don't want to say outside, beyond academia, because we know with over 2 million researchers, only a small portion of them can be absorbed within the academia. Most of them will look in other directions. And these other directions are not satisfied with the skills that academia provided, not at least in their terminology, not at least in their categorization. That's why the development of research comp, for example. That's why we looked into that dimension. And of course, working conditions. Okay, all these constitute the bricks, not the Lego bricks, but the components of our reflection, our analysis on the revision of the Charter and Code. And documents appeared, studies, documents from the European Commission, the communication on a new era, documents from the Council, it's a link. Of course, the presentation will be available to you, so the links are there. Conclusion of the Portuguese presidency of the Council in May 2021, and finally, December 2023, already discussed yesterday by my colleague Dario, Council recommendation on the European framework on research careers. This is incredibly relevant for us. It contains, as an Annex 2, the document that we saw outside, finally published. It took us a while, but the day before yesterday it was published, on the European Charter, the Charter for Researchers. Now, this document will not be, unlike the first one, the Charter and Code, will not be published physically. This is a special occasion for us in this conference. It will be available in all languages as an electronic copy. From today, it is available in the publication office of the European Commission. From before the end of the month, it will be available on on our portal, the HR Extensive Research portal. So, oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you're right. Thank you. I moved on the side to have a better look of the screen. This is the old document, European Charter for Researchers. We move now from the Charter and Code to European Charter for Researchers. As Fulvio Esposito yesterday stressed, and Conor O'Carroll also stressed yesterday in the last panel discussion, this document is called European Charter for Researchers, but the Code of Conduct is fully embedded in that. It's not that we separated the two documents and we kept just the European Charter for Researchers. The European Charter for Researchers today is embedding the old Charter for Researchers and the old Code of Conduct for their recruitment. addressing still exactly the same constituency that the Charter and Code addressed: researchers, employers and funders, and policymakers. And the last thing that I want to stress here is a Council recommendation. There is a direct commitment of the Member States on this document. While the one before was a Commission recommendation, this is a Council recommendation. It's a major change for that. It is still not legally binding, but it is politically very relevant. And it's our simplification and streamlining document, still referring to everybody. With new policy measures, you will see all the 20 principles, not 40 anymore, but no principle is lost, everything is there. Voila. Now, that's the second part. I will tell you more about that. The mechanism for Charter and Code, for implementation of the Charter and Code, is today absolutely identical to what it was before. The only thing that it changes is the document of reference. You don't have any more 20 principles, you have 40. Now, this afternoon, my colleagues from that company will explain again how this transition is done. It will be automatic. You will be guided through it. This is the process. We all know it. It will be discussed, of course, in later presentations. Why? Why should we do that? I mean, this is the question that I will always include here, because it's the question that is always asked to me. Why should I ask the process? Why should I join the HR excellence in research? There are many reasons. The strongest that we have been collecting all the time from our constituencies is that the process itself is a driver for change in the institution. The institutional framework on researchers is modified structurally by the simple fact of starting the process. The process is, I will show in the next slide, I'm stressing this point, is a toolbox for that. And then, of course, international visibility. Researchers are at the core. Visibility, I remind you that there is a strong interaction between your access and HR excellence. So the moment you get the award, then automatically your visibility increases on your access. And there is an added value, of course, in some countries also. Having the award is important in national funding, compliance with Article 18 of the Model Grant Agreement in Horizon Europe, and so forth, so on. But to stress what I was saying before, is a toolbox. Is a toolbox and a management framework that will help institutions improve not only their internal human resources policies, but the entire framework of research policies in implementing the European Charter for Researchers. Some do's and don'ts. I didn't want to put this slide, but I have been requested all the time. There is only one do, basically. Follow the guidelines on the product. Just stick to the guidelines. The guidelines are available, and they are describing step by step every single issue to be done. What you should not do, not following the guidelines is a first mistake. The second mistake that I will mention here is if you change HR award admin, you must communicate it immediately to the help desk, because otherwise an institution who does not communicate this change becomes unresponsive, there is no flow communication anymore. It disappears from the system in a way. Now, where do I find all this information? In the guidelines. This is the direct link to the guidelines. Of course, they are published on the portal, and you can browse them anytime. And of course, use always the online version, or check the online version now and then, because there may be additions, and the online version is the final up-to-date version. Few news on these slides. You already saw, Dario extracted them from this presentation to presented yesterday, so you already saw them, but just 2 words. Not so much in this one, that's the numbers, 746 today, and people here already, last year or the year before, would remind me, but I remember that you said that were last year 750, how comes today are 746? Let's give this one, voila. As you see them in red, in 2024 and 2025, 50 institutions lost the award every year, not because they were uncompliant, not because they were bad institutions, but especially because they were unresponsive, meaning that when in 2018 we moved to the tool, institutions were invited to enter the tool. Many institutions didn't do it. And since 2017, 2016, are not renewing their award. Now their award must be renewed every 3 years. Since they have not renewed the award, they have not replied to the email to ask them to do it, eventually, by definition, this institution must be pulled out of the system. This is why we have, yes, 50 new awards on average every year, but the total number of the award institution is pushed down because institutions are falling out of the system from an administrative point of view. Of course, there are other reasons why an institution may disappear as an awarded institution. There are mergers in the system. Once or twice a year, an institution may request to leave the system. It happens. But in any case, if you're wondering statistically what's going on, this is the main reason. In the future, we stop here. There are many things happening. The most relevant is that we are taking on board something completely new. That's the last slide. The system, the HR Excellence in Research system, is incremental and a cyclic system. It means that we have a constant, steady, quite strong growth of new institutions. The administrative burden on the management of the process has become enormous, and it's impossible for the European Commission to allocate more resources, internal resources on that. And this is why, as next year, a company called PPMI, which is part of the Variant Group, will take the entire administrative management of the process. Now, the Commission will remain the ultimate body to award, to give the HR Excellence Award, have the ultimate control, steering of the process, etc. But the daily management of the process will be entirely in the hands of BPMI in very strong synergy with the Commission, and will be trained and to adhere to the standards of the guidelines, of course, for the process, and the standards of the Commission for the recruitment and management of the assessors, who will not, at least for the first year or two, new recruitment will be necessary, but for the moment we are dealing with the same assessors we have been dealing up to now. For your knowledge, what does it change for you, institution? Absolutely nothing. So just for your knowledge, in case some of you are wondering who is doing what. Last information, which is extremely important, so I will not have to answer to the Slidos after questions. What happens to those institutions who were supposed to have a site visit in the past years and didn't have a site visit? The reason why they didn't have a site visit is purely administrative. There is a huge backlog currently, for the reason I mentioned before, at the Commission. This backlog will be tackled in the course of 2026. If you didn't have a site visit and you were due for a site visit, then you will be having a site visit without being penalized, of course, because this was not responsibility of the institution. It was an administrative problem of the commission. So you will receive the site visit. The only thing you have to do is just provide the assessors when they will visit you with information on what happened in the action plans in this period you were not present. And in 2026, you will all be informed of that. There will be a third email to be used by you, by institution, is hraward@youraccess.org. This will be the email that PPMI will use instead of RTD Charter, where you address your question now, to address all your procedural questions. And with that, I am done with my presentation. Thanks. And I will leave the floor to my colleague Justin Sinnott who will moderate with me this session. Thank you. I leave it to you?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. We're going straight into the slides.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that the case? Yeah.
You introduce the slides.
Yeah, yeah.
They will put the slides.
Okay.
Don't use the clicker.
Okay.
They will manage the slides.
Hands off. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody in the room, and good morning, everybody who's joining us remotely. So we're going to go back to the Slido for some more questions. So I'd ask you to use the QR code. And when we're ready, we'll take the first question. Okay. So the question is, will the slides of the presentation be available later on? And that comes from the University of Malta, from Karen. The answer to that is yes. Slides will be available on the European Commission's website for this event. Okay. So we'll take any other questions at this point? Well, we have a question here in the room, so we can move the microphone over just 1 second. Yeah. Yes. Okay, sure. Yeah. So we just ask you to introduce yourself and tell us which institution you're from.
Hello, thank you very much for the presentation. My name is Elisaveta Gurova. I'm from Sofia University, Bulgaria. As I mentioned, I'm a researcher, but I was involved helping our deputy rector for the whole process for getting the HR Excellence Award. So my question is regarding the renewal phase, because actually we expected the site visit, and so I'm not aware what will happen next. Do we need to do something or just waiting to be contacted? Thank you.
So yes, Michaela perhaps will take this.
The answer must be given in 2 steps. The first one is there is something the institution has to do. This is by guidelines, is the major step that the institution has to do in organizing the site visit. Meaning that the moment an institution receives the administrative eligibility of the submission of the internal review, it must, in the shortest delay possible, communicate to the Commission a proposal for a period of the site visit. From that moment on, the Commission can start organizing. If you institution didn't do it, but you are due for site visit and you received the eligibility, but you didn't propose a date, you must do it in the shortest delay possible. Now, for those instead who have communicated already the proposal and did not receive the site visit, then it is the Commission, or in this case PPMI in 2026, who will contact the institution saying, we are ready and we will come when it will be a good moment for you. Voilà.
So I'll just, while the microphone is being moved, go to a question here that's come in on Slido.
Hello, I'm Véronique Larosa from University of
Okay.
Liège, and I had a general question about what you have just said, Michele. So you externalize the full administrative procedure, but the European Commission will retain overall control and responsibility for granting the award. Could you go into detail of this? Thank you.
You want to take it? Thanks. No, okay, I'll take it. Very fast, it is the last step of, you see only a part of the tool. Of course, it's a complex chain of validations. The last step of validation will be done internally by the European Commission, not by PPMI. So we will have the last word on the assessment of each case. Also, the Commission retains complete control of the organization of the process and the steering of the process.
Are there any other questions from colleagues within the room? Yeah, yeah. I don't see any more coming in on Slido just at the moment. Any other questions or comments that people would like to make at this point? Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, there's no more questions coming in on Slido, Michele, so I think...
We can go on.
Okay, so next. I think that's it, Michele, for us. Okay. Is this what you're looking for here, Michaela? Yes, yes. Sure, yeah. I don't have anything else.
All right. So I think we can go to the presentation from REPSOL. Yes, thank you very much. So I call to the stage the colleagues from REPSOL. Okay, Alexandra and Laura. If I can have here, okay. We have a presentation from REPSOL. Our speakers today are Laura Garcia Diego, who will give us an introduction on the REPSOL, and Sandra Uzon Perez, who will give us the presentation. This is the clicker, leave it here. That is falling down. You can see it and switch.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning to everyone. And thank you, Michelle, for inviting us to this special event. For us, it's really an honor to be here and a great opportunity to share the REPSOL experience as a private company award. So well, together with my colleague, Sandra Uzon, we are going to explain how we have implemented the European Charter Code within the organization, and the benefits and the advantages of doing it. This is what we are going to see in the presentation. But firstly, we want to start who is REPSOL. No? REPSOL is a global multi-energy provider committed to progress. We have been supplying energy to society for nearly 100 years. So here there are some examples of our story in 1927. It was our origin when the company was created to manage the state petroleum monopoly. We had other samples from in 1957 that we provide door-to-door butane gas delivery to a Spanish home. That we say that we were pioneers in the house delivery business. And for example, nowadays that we have entered in the aerospace sector because we have a strategic partnership to develop renewable fuels for next generation space rockets. So we have, it's just some examples, but we have in 100 years, we have a history of constant evolution. So we are present throughout the energy value chains. We produce liquid fuels for land, air, and maritime transport, and supply low emissions gas and electricity. So we have 7 industrial complexes, refineries and petrochemical complex, but now we are transforming them into multi-energy hubs capable of produce transform crude oil and other alternative raw materials in more sustainable fuels and products. We believe in all the energies. With this transformation, we need all the energies that can accelerate it. And from green hydrogen, carbon capture, geothermal, and so on. This is why we say in our new slogan, with all our energy. No? We are technology agnostic. So why did REPSOL decide to become a awarded organization? So in 2019, we were working in a new strategic plan, and we decided to announce our firm commitment to become a net zero emissions company by 2050. So we were the first company in the industry sector to announce this commitment. To achieve this goal, we have challenging the decarbonization journey ahead, and the only way to progress on that is through innovation. So with this ambitious transformation, we are transforming all our business, our products, so innovation is not optional. And what is the main pillar of our innovation model? So our R&D center, REPSOL Technology Lab, is located in Móstoles, Madrid, where more than 200 scientists work. We have 20 laboratories, specialized laboratories, 35 pilot plants, where new products and solutions are developed in response of our technological challenge. Sorry. So, however, this transformation, we can't do it alone. So we have an open innovation model. And the objective of this model is the early detection of the technologies, the validation and scale up the technologies, and acceleration of the innovation cycle. We have established tools for collaborate and to create collaboration and alliance with others, like university, R&Ds, startups, and administration and corporations, working together to transform the energy sector. So to successfully lead this industrial transformation and to achieve this ambitious goal, we know that in REPSOL we need to attract top talent and also retain. You know? We know that our main competitive advantage is our people. So this was the motivation to initiate the certification process in 2020. The Charter and Code endorsement letter was officially signed in May of 2020. We conducted a gap analysis, and we identified the areas for improvement, and we create an action plan. And finally, in 2021, we were awarded with the Human Resource Excellence Research, and was a milestone because we were at least in Spain, the first R&D center supported by a large corporation to get award with this certification. So for us, it's really an honor. So now we are in the interim phase, and how REPSOL we have implemented the charter and code. So we have established an implementation committee that monitors the progress and ensures the strategic alignment with of the actions. It meets 3-4 times per year, and in this session, we review the implementation status of all the actions. And it is a multidisciplinary team, which consists in 30 people. This is our CTO of the technology and corporate inventory, director of the technical areas. We have research of the different profiles, human resource representative, as my colleague Sandra, operating model representative, and the open innovation representative as human resource strategy for research coordinator or administrator, as you say. I'm the person that I received the notification for the classes. So. And this is how is divided our division. We have different technical areas that are aligned with the industrial capabilities, with our business needs. We have the industrial transformation area, asset optimization, MATs and labs, product design, consumer-centric deep tech, corporate inventory, and tech BD and open innovation. All the research are in these three verticals. So in November of 2023, we have the interim review. In this moment, most of the action that we proposed in the initial plan was completed. The initial plan had 19 actions, and according with the strategy of our company that the researchers might increase in our division, especially in the industrial transformation for all the transformation that we are working on. So we add new 8 actions regarding requirement of and professional career of young talent. Actions of the human resource strategy are integrated into the organization annual management objectives. So that means that every year actions are prioritized, and we incorporated them into annual target-based remuneration framework. This initiative is supported from the highest level of the management, from the 10th direction. This is from the direction. Well, the name is really, I can see in Spanish or in English is horrible. We can see there is the small letter, but it's the 10th, and that's ensuring the successful and the full alignment with the organization strategic and objectives. This is all for me, and now my colleague Sandra is going to continue.
Sorry, as Laura has said, thank you very much for having us. As you can see, this slide, it has been very easy for me to include here because it's just a copy from our strategic plan that is public. So I didn't have to make or put in very beautiful letters. This is public, and this is our strategic plan 2024-2027 in REPSOL. And as you can see, we have, there are 3, we have business, we have different business in REPSOL. We have the industrial business, the EMP business, low carbon business, client business. But for helping or for enabling this business to achieve what is written, we have 3 main enablers. So two of them are really, really focused on what the European Charter and Code speaks. One is talent, and the other one is technology. The talent program is not just about human resource. Sometimes when we speak and when we listen talent, everybody looks at human resource. In REPSOL, we call us people and organization, but I will apply here the human resource general way of speaking. But it's true that people always focus on this is what is human resource going to do, they have to implement. I mean, the talent program is not just about my area or department. We have decided that it's a level for transformation. We have updated our talent management principle because we want to empower engagement, leadership, upskilling, reskilling, and talent development. And why? Because we have to be sure that we have the right people and the right capabilities to achieve what the company has promised or what are the company's priorities. We also have here, as you can see, technology and innovation. And they are both equally critical for achieve this strategic plan. They empower the development of transformative solutions focused on low carbon. We are focusing a lot in low carbon programs and projects. So we need the technology, we need the innovation for renewable fuels, hydrogens, advanced materials, etc., or projects focused on circular economy. Today, more than 55% of the research and development projects that we are managing are focused on low carbon technologies. So we are really, really committed with the sustainability. And as I have said, these two enables support the entire roadmap of our strategic plan, and we hope and we believe that are going to make the business transformation possible. And they are, at the end of the day, the engines that power the strategic plan. And now I'm going to speak. Sorry, I don't know if I'm moving this right or not. No, too much? Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. We are going to speak right now about REPSOL values. We have updated our values just few months ago. We are still communicating and make them, very well known for all the organizations. And we have, before we have values more focused on result-oriented, respect and things like that, but we have decided to think a bit about it, and we have changed them or update them, and we have 4 now. And I like them a lot. I like them a lot because the first one is courage. And what does it mean? It means that we want to challenge the norms and we want to embrace the innovation. For example, our researchers often lead projects that explore new carbon technologies that they think that maybe we are wasting time or we are wasting money or they have a new idea. And just because they are assigned to that project, it doesn't mean that they have to continue. They can say, no, I think it's better to stop. And we really want people to have courage to say what they think. And we promote from, the core values of the company. And also, we can find this courage in charter principles, in the European charter principles like research freedom, open science, diversity. The second one is curiosity. What is innovation without curiosity? At the end of the day, curiosity drives continuous learning and exploration. So we have, and we will see later, we have now the Universidad REPSOL or REPSOL University. We have a talent program very well explained. So everyone has clear about how we are going to work in talent in REPSOL. And in the charter, you can see that we have career development, training principles, achievement. For sure, we are a private company, so achievement needs to be included. But we understand achievement as working toward the excellent and also the fair recognition. When we applied transparent merit-based recruitment, we ensure that every researcher is recognized for their skills and also their contributions. And last but not least, one that I really, really like, that is care. And care means acting responsibly and prioritizing the well-being of all our employees and all the people that are involved in our activities. We integrate flexible work arrangement, ethical standards into research environments because we want to protect the people and also we want to protect the integrity. At the end of the day, I mean, our cultural values make the European Charter and Code part of how we work and how we live every day. So once that we have seen the enablers of the strategic plan, that we have seen our value, we are going deeper and deeper. We have our talent program, and as we are an energy company, our program is called the Talent Energy. And we have six energies driving growth, and we focus on this. We have 6 pillars: attract, learn, progress, or advance. I can change these words: lead, connect, and understand. This is not just one thing that we put here, very beautiful, with different colors or one year. This is what structures how we work and how we connect all the talent program in the company. In the next slide that I'm going to move, we are going deeply to see how we put this in practice. At the end of the day, we can speak about general issues, but the Talent Energy framework, at the end of the day, provides us the structure. And here are the concrete actions that make those principles a part of our daily reality. Attract. We can start with attract. We have the transparent recruitment. We have posted our recruitment policy. It's difficult to have very, very specific because we are a global company and we have researchers. So we have to post like general because it depends a lot and we only, but we want to be honest and we want to say what we are doing. I like a lot the second one that we are doing in REPSOL, that is called the Impulso Scholarship. We contribute with financial aid for people who has graduated to be able to, it's a financial aid for a master program that they want to study. So they present they present the candidacy to REPSOL, and finally we provide. And I'm very, very proud because they are really, really great people. Also, we have the award for the best master's thesis. This year we have had it in November. Really, really spectacular what they present. And also, at the end of the day, what these actions generate in REPSOL. 89% of the new hires in the technology area this year are under 30 years old. So we are trying to promote the next generation of researchers. Learn. We have implemented the Universidad REPSOL, or REPSOL University, and this university has different schools. We have the School of Power Skills or Soft Skills that many people know like that. But also we have the School of Digitalization. We have different schools, both like general, everybody can access because it's general knowledge, or we have like specialized schools. And next year we are going to launch the one for technology. That is going to be, this is the name that we have right now. We don't know if it will change. That is the School of Technology and Laboratories. That is going to be a specialist hub for advanced research training and lab excellence. And we also have, and we share with other business, the industrial capabilities programs. We collaborate with the engineering management area and also the industrial, and we have people, we do like, we change people for 2 years so they can have and learn different skills that later we can use in other areas. Progress, advance, this one is focused on career development. Every researcher has an individual development plan that is supported by structured mentoring. We also have onboarding mentors and technical buddies, and we carry talent reviews on almost, we do one every 2 years. 1 year, it doesn't make sense because at the end of the day, you have to do the talent review, but you have to implement what you have agreed. So we need time to do it. Leadership matters, and matters a lot, and every day matters and matters more and more and more, and we can see how the world changes as the leaderships change. So we want to have the best leaders, and we also want to create opportunities for researchers to interact with the senior leaders, and for that we have skill level sections that provide and increase the visibility and also the sponsorship of our researchers. We also have here mentoring by technical leaders. We also have a program, a mentoring program, not so focused on the technical way, more focused on different things that people want to achieve, and also technology people are included and involved. And we also try to promote inclusive leadership actions. For example, we have, not this year, it started some years ago, the Women's Talent Empowerment Program to increase the diversity, the gender diversity in technology and in the company. Connect is essential for innovation. I mean, if we are not connected, Laura has spoken very well. We have collaboration with universities, with all the stakeholders that within that we can contribute and they can contribute to with our work. We build scientific communities for knowledge sharing, create collaboration space. And also, we have here a welcome program that is not so focused on technology, it's more focused on all the employees that come to the company, because we think that providing a network for all the employees can make collaboration easier. Since COVID-19, a lot of training has become online training, and also it provides and it helps to make it more affordable or easier for the people. It also has a downside that is people don't speak, people don't know each other. So we have also a welcome program because we want really to ensure that if you are working in legal, you know what is doing in technology. If you are working in technology, I want you to know what is the audit area working on. And also I want you to have a person of contact in each area. So sometimes we call it, I mean, for sure we have structural and formal channels, but we also call the green way, that sometimes is easier for you to get things. And we try to provide this with our welcome program. And also we encourage cross-functional projects with different areas to work on different projects. And no, I forgot the last one, sorry. Understand, it's understand. The energy of understand, we need to know what is happening. And for that, we have different tools. And this is not, I mean, we have much more things, but we didn't want to be here speaking all the time about everything. We have our engagement pools. We do on a yearly basis. We understand how things are going, if we are doing well, if we are not doing well. It's anonymous, so people feel free to say whatever they want. We also have a tool called Strategic Workforce Planning that we have the people that, I mean, the employees that we currently have, what we think is going to happen, so we can see and work on what capabilities and skills are going to be needed in the future, so we can re-skill, we can try to hire if we are going to need something. And also we have the skill management, not only to see what are the current gaps, we also try to see what are the emerging skills, and we try to prepare for the future with this skills management. And this is our continuous journey from values to principles, from principles to action, and this is how we include or manage the human resource strategy for researchers into our talent strategy and make it part of our culture every day and in every program. And we wanted to say that at the end of the day, and as I have said, we value, we measure, and we have results that really make us very happy. The commitment has increased in 22, has been increased by 15 points in our engagement pools. This speaks volumes about the sense of belonging, the motivation and alignment, and also the professional development has increased by 9 points in these pools. So at the end of the day, as we have said, this is our purpose, this is how we work, and we want to highlight how the principles of the European Charter and Code works with REPSOL values and talent programs, and also the strategic plan that we currently have. And we are going to finish with one sentence from our CEO, that it's all forms of energy are necessary. We uphold the importance of technological neutrality and recognize the fundamental role of innovation and technology in this competitive journey. And to all of this, I add your talent, the talent of everyone who is part of REPSOL. So we are very happy because we have the support from the top management. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this presentation, very enlightening. It's exactly one of the areas we want to work on in the next few months. We want to push intersectorality, we want to push collaboration with enterprises, with the private sector, and so on. And this presentation was proof that it is an excellent domain for the HR excellence and research process. Now I would like to launch a small Slido, and after that we open to a few questions from the audience. Can you please? Yes, thank you. With an eye to intersectorality, what do you think would be the major challenges of a private company in the implementation of the European Charter for Researchers? So this is a double-sided question because I'm asking to private sector, but a big part of our audience is made of practitioners in the academic world. So it would be very interesting to see also what is their perception. here too. The tapping. Okay, leadership, connecting with the academia, of course. Come on, 5 participant typing. Training and supervision as the lead. Okay. Time, stress, of course. Combining the business and people focus. Okay, but training and supervision as the lead, of course, these were clouds. I see that there are still participants typing. Time. Okay, let's give 10 seconds more. If you investment is a cultural issue. IPRs, property rights. Okay. If you don't mind, before getting back to you, I will launch a second slide, and then if you could give you our take. To what extent do you believe the Charter and its implementation can contribute to developing a stronger intersectorality in research? That's a poll. Complementary, adding some value. Instrumental, helpful, but limitations. All right. Okay, 5 seconds. No, 10 seconds more. Come on. All right. Complementary, adding some value, and the helpful, but this actually close, huh? Okay. Laura Alexandra, what is your take from as an inside observers in the private sector on these two questions? To what extent do you believe the Charter and its implementation can contribute? And what do you think would be the major challenge for in the private sector for taking up the Charter for researchers and its implementation?
I mean, for me, the charter, we as a large company, we have a lot of things. When we were preparing, I'm going to be very honest, when we were preparing this presentation, at the beginning it was a bit difficult because I mean, we have a lot of things by default because we need to have them. We are more than 25,000 employees. But I like a lot what technology has, and that's what we are part here and what we want when we want to be part, and what is adding this implementation. First, I read before leadership. Leadership is committed. I mean, this is not something from or for human resource. This is not something that we are requiring. This is not something that has come from the people and organization side. This has come from the technology center. So it makes very powerful that the leadership team is committed. But not only the leadership team, because if you have one leader, just you can, I don't know in English the word, if someone speaks Spanish, predicar en el desierto. When someone is speaking in the desert, it doesn't matter if you are trying to do something and if people are not involved. We have a very big team of researchers involved in this, and they know it's for them. It's not for us. It's, as I have said, I can be very comfortable with what I'm doing, but people feel that they are part of their careers. It's not something that we say, you promote when you have this and you have this and a lot of things. They are part, they contribute. They know what they have to do. So for me, it provides a really, really strong framework. And also it provides that you have to review and rethink and work from a different perspective. That is also the research perspective and not only the other perspective that every company has. I don't know if I answer.
Thank you, and that also was emerging from your presentation very clearly. I have an online question asking, how many R4 researchers do you have in REPSOL?
How many?
R4, that's let's say advanced high-level, professionally high-level researchers, advanced career researchers.
Advanced? But what do you mean? Like
they asked it online. They asked the number. How many?
I don't know. I don't know the number, but in total we are about 200 more than 200 scientists.
Okay.
But the majority are in the R3 or 2. Well, yeah, I think the R3 or 2 are the majority of the scientists in this profile. I have the numbers, but I don't know now, really, to be honest. Sorry.
Okay, thanks. Okay, if there are any questions on the floor, if I don't have any other question online. Yes, we do have one. Okay, one.
Hello, good morning, everybody. My name is Rosa Mesa. I'm from Rey Juan Carlos University, based in Móstoles, Spain.
Our neighbor.
Yeah, we are neighbors, and we have a strong collaboration in many different projects. I would like to know how you encourage your researchers to participate in the different actions that you have planned, and how do you, if you've noticed a difference since you implemented the strategy, if they work in a different way, if they are the same researchers, of course, if they now work in a different way, now that you've been implementing different actions to make their life easier inside the company.
Well, as Sandra in the last slide tell about how the perception and of the people from because all years we ask people, we have a culture survey or a pulse, and we ask the perception of our scientists, and the perception has increased, so the scientists are feel better. So I think that this is something that we can, if we compare from 2022 and now, the perception it's much better. So I think that's something we are doing that it's okay for them. I think, for example, so the scientists feel that this tool, this is initiative is really for them, but at the end it's not just for the scientists, because all the organization, for in my case, I'm in the technology division, but I'm not scientist. I was scientist in my before because my background, I'm geologist, but now I'm in the open innovation. I'm not scientist. But at the end, all the actions that we have implemented have a very positive impact for all the organizations, and I think that this is why the organization or the scientists and the other organizations feel good with it. And as we say in the committee that monitors and that they control all the actions, and they can detect if there is something that we have to improve, we can add new actions to the plan just in order to improve this gap. The scientists are involved in this commitment. There are a lot of scientists that work, and they feel like they are important for this initiative. And I don't know, you want to add something or?
I think that the important thing is that we review. I mean, if we see that something is not working, we are going to review. If we see that, as we have the engagement pools every year, we know how the feeling is moving. And it's true that we are in a very changing environment, not REPSOL, not Spain, not Europe. It's something that is worldwide. And we want to know what is happening. And the only way to know what is happening is asking. So we carefully every year ask, and we every year analyze, and we see. And we work on action plans that when we see the results, because sometimes one year something can happen and you have one area that it's the other day, and this is not related to technology. I was speaking with a director from another area, and he was saying that his engagement, his culture survey, was a bit low in process, about the process that we have. And he was a bit frustrated because they were an area very, with a lot of process. And he was like trying to know what are the process that people are really suffering. And after asking and researching and doing a lot, at the end of the day, the frustration of the people came from things like when we have a robot asking instead of human resource, sometimes that they don't solve exactly what you want. I mean, it wasn't really processed of the area. It was like, I don't know how to ask for a pen if I want. So it was more like globally. So it's true that when you ask, people can answer in one way, and it's not exactly what you are thinking they are answering. So that's why after that we have like more workshops to know what is really happening.
One more. I have one more question, if you don't mind.
I think we have to.
Okay.
To
okay, I will ask them
session,
later.
And we are a bit over time. So thank you so much. Very interesting. Thanks. Thank you. So now we will move to the presentation today. Sorry, I need the clicker, so I will come here. It is the International Best Practices from the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology. And I call to the stage Jane Holt, who is Executive Director of Research Strategy and Services of the Royal Melbourne Institute of Technology. Stage is yours.
Thanks, Mikkel, and I am delighted to be here. Having travelled all the way from Australia, I was very pleased to accept the invitation from Mikkel. And I want to congratulate you on your 20 years of the anniversary of the Charter for Researchers. Wonderful achievement for the European Commission. So I am in the research and innovation space. I've worked in this area for over 20 years. But for those of you sitting in the audience that are HR practitioners, you'll be pleased to know I started my career in HR. So I had almost a decade in HR before I came over to research management. And I guess that makes it even more special to sponsor the HR Excellence in Research Award at RMIT, because I straddle that world of wanting to always put researchers, our people, at the heart of all that we do. Okay, so today I wanted to give you a little bit of an overview who RMIT University is, because I'm sure many of you may not have heard of us. I'm going to reflect on why we decided to progress in applying for the HR Excellence in Research Award. I'll also give you some context, though, in terms of the environment that we work in Australia and some of the other activities that we had underway that really influenced our approach to how we undertook the gap analysis assessment and also the way we rolled this out. I'll talk about, I guess, the lessons learnt and the benefits from our perspective as well. So who is RMIT? So RMIT was originally founded in 1887 as a working man's college. It was actually founded through philanthropy, and it was set up so that working class men and then over the years women could access education. It wasn't actually until 33 years ago that it became a university under our Victorian State Act. And under that Act was then required to also focus on the delivery of research and innovation. But as part of our Act, our purpose has always been so that we would do that for the benefit of society. We are an applied university, and our vision, as you can see, is to be a leading university of impact in the Asia-Pacific region. And we have a strong focus around really doing that in an inclusive and sustainable way. You can see here some of the stats. We're very large. We have over 90,000 students. We are a dual sector university, so we teach both vocational education as well as the higher education sector. I'd also point out that our HDR candidates, we have 2,500 of those, and they actually make up the largest part of our research workforce. So that's fantastic that we really make sure that what we're doing obviously also supports that key component of our community. And we spend around $450 million in research expenditure a year. I just have to point out, you're probably thinking, what is that green thing on the building? That's called the green brain, and I was really delighted when I was walking around town the other day and I saw the green apple on one of the buildings, which I understand is quite a well-known sculpture here in Brussels. So that did make me giggle, and I sent a picture of that home to colleagues in Melbourne. So we are an international university. We have 3 campuses in Melbourne. We also have 2 campuses in Vietnam, and we've just this year celebrating our 25th anniversary for our presence in Vietnam. That's both campuses in Ho Chi Minh City and also Hanoi. And we have a European hub in Barcelona as well. So wonderful to hear our Spanish colleagues speaking before. You'll also note here that we have a number of partnerships across the globe where we do teaching, and also you can see particularly, I'll call out India, where we have a partnership with BITS Pilani, and so we are able to offer PhD candidates dual degree programs where they spend the first couple of years in India at BITS, and then they come out to Australia to RMIT where they complete their PhD program. So that is one way we're supporting mobility through our strategy and endeavours. Now, RMIT decided that we'd join this journey of applying to become a recipient of the HR Excellence in Research Award in 2020. At the time, we were the first, and I'm pleased but also encouraging my colleagues at other institutions to consider this, because we're still the only university in Australia with this award. Some of you may have heard that the Australian government have been consulting across the sector to see whether or not they would support us becoming an associate country of the European Commission with Horizon, and we're very in favour of that, and hopefully we'll hear the outcome of that next year. So if that happens, it'll be interesting to see whether this trend remains as we're being the only Australian institution. I'm sure we'll see some uplift from other institutions wanting to join this community. So when we sort of started to think about why we would apply for this award, We were very drawn to, I guess, the focus, that it was really around trying to improve the research environment for researchers, really enabling them to achieve, excellent research outcomes. It was very researcher focused. So that really aligned well with our strategy. We have a 10-year strategy called Knowledge with Action, and as a part of that strategy, one of our goals is focused on and really evolving and deepening our research and innovation ecosystem, and core to that is our researchers and academic community. So we have a very strong focus around how we can continue to uplift their capabilities, particularly with an impact lens. So we don't just do research for research's sake, but as a part of our vision and our strategy, it's about how we really help support that research to be translated into policy, into technology, to make a difference to the world that we live in. So we were very drawn to it. It aligned very well with our values and our vision and our strategy. I guess we've really been pleased with the approach that it's also principles-based. But in the Australian context, there are a few things I wanted to draw to your attention. So first of all, in Australia, we enter into institutional enterprise agreements. And these are basically agreements that are negotiated with the National Tertiary Education Union, and they really set out the terms and conditions for employment. Through that process, we engage, or management engages heavily with staff. So our research community get opportunities to provide input into that process. And not surprising, I guess some of the main areas of importance that they focused on in the last enterprise negotiation is that they're concerned about academic workload, competitive remuneration, and improving job security. And we certainly have heard that, I think, throughout the last couple of days here at this conference. The other element that we have is we have what is called the Australian Code for the Responsible Conduct of Research. This was first established in 2007, and it was a collaboration between our major funders, the Australian Research Council, the National Health and Medical Research Council, and our Universities Australia, which is the membership of all the Australian institutions. So I was interested to hear yesterday in the last panel session that there was reference that maybe the European Commission were the only ones to have this sort of code, but I'd like to assure you that Australia also has one as well. And in our code, similar to the charter that you have, there's very much a focus around principles. So we have 8 principles: honesty, rigour, transparency, fairness, respect, recognition, accountability, and promotion of responsible research. And as you would expect in a code of conduct, we also have obviously then a focus around setting those expectations and standards around authorship, collaborative research, research data management, peer review, publication and dissemination of research, supervision and research integrity, and the disclosure and management of conflict of interest. This code, again, similar to the charter that you have, was really set up so that it provides clear expectations, not only to researchers, but to institutions as well. And then our funding that we received is conditional upon us assuring compliance with the code. So our research policies and other general policies that might not be in the domain of research, but are broader, like conflict of interest, all need to ensure that they're drafted in a way that also aligns with the code. The other element that we took into consideration was our participation in Athena Swan. Athena Swan, for those of you that aren't so familiar with it, was established through the UK, and in Australia, SAGE actually administer this. It's an international framework and an accreditation program which is designed to advance gender equity, diversity and inclusion, and similar has principles that set up the framework, which is around gender equity, progression of women, culture and leadership, recruitment and promotion, and support for parents and carers, and the prevention of discrimination, bullying and harassment. So again, you can see the overlap with the Charter and the Code. And that's similar to the HR excellence and research process, is one where you have to analyse your data, you have to identify the gaps, and you put in place an action plan where you progress and address those initiatives that you've committed to. So very strong overlap and alignment with HR excellence in research. So that was really a part of our starting point, to understand those overlaps, to map that, so we didn't duplicate. We really wanted to look at this from an integrated perspective and identify where there was already existing connections, and then to actually address what was the fundamental gaps. So going back to understanding, why the European Commission really has had this focus, we felt that we were very well covered through our Australian code around providing the right type of environments for responsible and ethical research practices. But we did identify that we had some key gaps where we could further enhance through this process. And there's 4 there that I would call out. The first one being career development for researchers. Our Australian code does not call that out. The Australian government, whilst they're absolutely aware that one of the major challenges for us is supporting particularly early career academics, they have not instituted something that has really incorporated that into a code. Gender balance, well, we were doing a lot already with Athena Swan, but we obviously wanted to align with that. Recognition of mobility experience, and this is obviously important for us also because the fact that we are so international, it's something we are very focused on. And then ensuring that we continue to have responsible and respectful workplaces. So they were the 4 that we really had identified where we had the major gaps. So you know this process, you've heard it before. We started it in 2020. We are now at the stage of the renewal phase. We have a draft submission that we've pulled together that we're finalising at the moment that will be submitted early next year, and we are then preparing for the site visit. So wonderful to hear about the developments there today. And I'm sure because of the distance, ours will be a little bit different, and the time zone elements. So we're expecting obviously some sort of virtual visit, maybe spread out over a couple of days, because we do have laws in Australia that means we can't require our academics, our researchers to work beyond the normal working hours, unless obviously there's a good reason why. So we'll see how that's going to unfold. So I guess some further reflections now on why we decided to pursue this. So first of all, as you've heard, we do have a presence through our hub in Barcelona, and that has really enabled our RMIT researchers to actively contribute to EU-funded research projects. And we've had staff involved and PhD candidates involved from Barcelona, from Melbourne and from RMIT. But because RMIT is a third country, none of that funding could flow back to Australia. So we took the decision that we would actually provide cash as a co-contribution to support our researchers that are participating in this to be able to travel and meet with the partners and be involved in those projects. So we took a deliberate decision for that investment. Obviously, if we get the associated country outcome, then we're very excited, because we think that will absolutely scale up our ability to really support our researchers in deepening their capabilities, collaborations and networks. Since we've been involved through our presence in RMIT Europe, RMIT has participated in 22 Horizon projects, and a very strong sort of focus has been around the doctoral training programs for that. So we do see that it enables us to be able to, I guess, demonstrate to partners that we are seen as being a trusted partner, at least in the sense that we've made a commitment to ensuring we're providing the best possible environment to enable our researchers to achieve those excellent outcomes. So now to reflect on the key learnings and insights. So for us, maybe a little bit different than some other institutions that sign up to HR Excellence in Research, it was absolutely sponsored from our Deputy Vice-Chancellor Research and Innovation, and I've been the executive lead on it. However, we have done this absolutely in partnership with our colleagues from our People and Culture team. That's absolutely critical, that it is a partnership from the start. It has to really be a partnership to enable, I think, the commitment, the ongoing commitment, because it does take quite a long time to get through all of those different phases. We set up a governance and working group structure. So the governance structure that we used is our Deputy Vice-Chancellor's executive, where we have college research leadership on that, as well as executives out of the research and innovation portfolio. And we had a working group that had representation from HR and across the R&I portfolio that met regularly. So the working group would obviously keep track of how initiatives were going. They would pull status reports together, and that would go up to the governance group. We would show what initiatives were completed, what was in action, what maybe not had commenced, so there was a red flag. And then we also used that executive where we'd have the initiative of the leads come and present. So they would do a deep dive on where the initiative was at, and that way we could also help service any barriers to enable better support from the executive to keep those initiatives progressing. One of the issues that we saw throughout this journey is, in fact, though, the change of leadership. The Chief People Officer had changed many times, and with that meant ongoing advocacy for why this program was so important. That does take a lot of effort, and you obviously need to really advocate for continued investment in resourcing. We did find, because this was new and we didn't have colleagues from other Australian universities that we could call on to sort of share best practice, that we definitely have approached the European Commission, and it's been fantastic, the advice and support we've got there. The big part of this is how we engage across the research community, ensuring that we're really seeking their input into obviously where we have gaps, but then really co-creating and co-designing the initiatives that we've rolled out. We also have a number of surveys. So as a part, again, of that sort of analysis piece, we really looked at the surveys to identify where we've already had insights that align to the principles in the Charter. For example, we have a staff survey on engagement and wellbeing. We have a gender equity survey. We have a student experience survey, which captures our PhD candidates. And we conduct a research integrity climate survey as well. So all of those surveys give us lots of rich data and insights, and again, connecting that to our gaps, but also to our progress, has been critical in bringing this together in a very interconnected way. What we have also, though, experienced is some of the actions that we committed to in the action plan have been impacted. We certainly have seen, due to COVID, a pause or a slowdown of some initiatives, particularly where we were coming through, I guess, the sort of improvement in our fiscal situation. Don't know if you know, but Melbourne was one of the cities that was locked down for the longest during that time, and that just definitely hurt the sector. We also have a very high international student profile, and of course, international students weren't travelling, and so that has had a long impact on the Australian sector as well. But the good news is that's okay. If those actions need to be delayed or progressed, there's opportunities for obviously making the case through that process. So we have carried forward a few initiatives as we've moved through to the different phases of the program. We also reflected on the feedback that we had received from the assessors in the initial and interim phases. It wasn't necessarily that detailed, but it definitely highlighted where we had gaps, which we've been able to address. And finally, it really has helped us ensure that we've got a much more embedded way of showing how the HR excellence and research strategy aligned with our overall HR strategy. And we were able to actually work with HR to make some small improvements to some of the procedures and the way that that information was profiled. So I guess in terms of where we're at now, so we certainly have started to profile this more across Australasia in terms of the benefits we've seen. And I just wanted to sort of, in summary, highlight some of those for you. So we absolutely think by growing our desire to continue to grow those European collaborations, there's benefit in having this award. We've also been able to put in place initiatives that have further helped and supported mobility, but sometimes they're also not just due to this award. So by connecting all of the different programs of work that we have and the different initiatives, the different requirements, it actually just strengthens the case for investment. So I think that's my key takeaway. So for example, we've been able to really bring forward some of the career development programs that we wanted to see rolled out because of the additional weight where we had built this into the action plan. So there's a strategic benefit to your organisation if you can, make those connections and obviously have the executive support with that. Clearly, we're watching to see whether or not, as I said, we can become an associate member. We've been able to obviously build into the proposals to date that we have this award. I'm not sure there's any correlation that means that there's success with that, but it helps, again, I think, show that you're a trusted partner. And then finally, we've also seen a much greater alignment between our HR strategy and our research strategy. Our people strategy in 23 to 25 reflects a commitment to creating a workplace where researchers can thrive and deliver meaningful impact for their communities, and that called out some key pillars, and that was around culture, careers leadership, workforce strategy, and global and community place. And we do think that having this focus and having worked so closely with our HR colleagues, that has really influenced that HR strategy. And finally, I'm sure that I've probably not included some on this list. It's a lot of people, you can see, but I think this really demonstrates the need to make sure you've got a real variety of people involved in the process, from researchers, where they might be leading initiatives, from your HR people, from your research and innovation professional capability as well. And so I'd just like to recognise those that have contributed to our journey, and thank you very much.
Many thanks, Jane. It was a great presentation. I mean, it's one of the huge things that we are always stressing, the international dimension of what we are doing, the international mobility, international visibility, but also, and since the very first time I met you last year, the universality of the principles that the European Charter for Researchers bring forward. Researchers are not different in Australia or in Europe or in China or in the US. Policies are changing, but their needs are the same. They are flesh and blood, not only brains. They need to be supported. I have many things resonating with your presentation, like, oh, well, in Australia too, whenever the management is changing, they have huge problems. I mean, yes, like everybody else, of course. But the coffee break is upon us, so we have time just for our Slido, maybe one question more. So you could put the Slido on, voila. Yes, two short questions on Slido. How much does the European Charter for Researchers contribute to fostering and supporting international mobility, in your opinion? And let's see if we still have people online, and of course people on the floor can vote as well. Where 5 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. Okay, glad to see that 4 and 5 are having the 2/3 of the replies. Indeed, so that's one of the pillars of the European Charter for Researchers and the goals that we always had in mind also in the implementation process. That's one of the core. Okay, thank Q, can we go to the second slide? What is, in your opinion, needed to facilitate and smooth out international mobility of researchers? So what do we have to do more? Is a word cloud. Oh, I'm sorry. 5? Okay. Yeah, that's a bit cryptic. Okay. Contractor flexibility. Funding. 1. Bureaucracy. Funding, yes. Yes, bureaucracy. Visa procedure. Regulation alignment. Yes, of course. I agree with you upon. Yes, funding is absolutely crucial. Unfortunately, as a principle, it doesn't really work as a principle for the European Charter for Researchers. But yes, we fully understand, and is a corollary point we are working on. And of course, this is absolutely recognition of diplomas. That's absolutely central for international mobility, even for European mobility, of course, at higher level. We are working also on ways to automatize that. Flexibility, clarification of pension system, a resaver. We mentioned it yesterday over and over. Of course, we aim to improve this dimension, but of course, resaver is one of the possible answers. Tax system, this is a bit beyond our competence, it's more, but yes, state level. Okay, very good. And we still have a little room for 1 or 2 questions. Do you want to comment on those slides we have seen? So, what is, in your opinion, needed to facilitate and smooth international mobility, and how much does the European Charter for Researchers contribute to international mobility?
So I think, I mean, that's a really good capture there, isn't it? At the end of the day, I think mobility can be considered in different ways too. So it's mobility, obviously, of our academic community, including our PhD candidates. So there's obviously definitely opportunities around supporting them to be able to take up opportunities. But I think there's also mobility between industry and academia as well. Some of the things that we've been doing, again, in Australia, which I think could be really considered, I think, in the evolution of how we're supporting the ability for researchers and industry to deeply partner. In Australia, we now have our PhD candidates spend time alongside industry as a part of their candidature. And in fact, the government is now giving us funding for completions where that has occurred. We also had, for a period of time, funding dedicated through our National Competitive Grant Program for industry research fellowships. I thought they were fabulous, but unfortunately, there's been a review of the National Competitive Grant Program after 20 years, and they're going to actually do away with that. But that really enabled people that were in industry to come out of industry into the academic community on fellowships and vice versa. So I think there's ways to think about, yes, it's international, but also, you know, within industry and academia as well. So, and maybe it's all three. I mean, imagine being able to come and then spend time as a PhD candidate from Australia in a company based here in Europe on a funded European Commission Horizon Europe project. So I would encourage reflections that open that up, because at the end of the day, you know, the biggest opportunities we've got, I think, to address the challenges that we face as a global society is where we're absolutely partnering across industry, government, and within research.
Thank you so much. Yes, indeed, these are our pillars for strategic pillars to work on international mobility and sectoral mobility, both of them. If there is, we still have 1 or 2 minutes for a question on the floor. If there is none, online, any questions? Otherwise, thank you very much, Jane. I think we can now break for half an hour for our coffee break, and we start sharp at 11:30.